Top of the afternoon, straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Want y'all to hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not a sub, and also hit them notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. We are live. Appreciate everybody coming in to the building right now. Brother Ron, I see you in here. Beautiful brown sugar, babe. I see you in here. Uh, Thank y'all for tuning in right now. And if you come in to the door a little bit later, we all good with that. First and foremost, too, also, I want to give a shout out to the whole entire Lions Den, both basketball as well as boxing community. In this case, we are talking hoops to some extent. I want to give a shout out too also to the brother LB, of LB. Excellent job of covering this first. Go sub to his platform. One of the lieutenants up in this Lions Den basketball community. Also want to give a shout out to the brother Too Raw for TV as well. Definitely go sub to his platforms too as well that he has, and one of the head honchos in the LDBC community too as well. And also want to give a shout out to the brother Ticket TV, who is one of the head honchos in the Lions Den basketball as well as boxing community too as well. All right, and everybody else that it stands 10 toes down with the LDBC community too as well. All right. Um, Now, if you haven't heard by now, Paul Pierce is set to join the Undisputed team in order to save Skip Bayless's career, pretty much. All right. Um, we all know that since Shannon Sharp has left Undisputed and went to First Take, uh, the ratings have significantly dropped for Undisputed. Okay. Now, while they did make an attempt to get both Keyshawn and Mike, the great Michael Irvin, and reach and grab everybody that they could, and Richard Sherman, who right now is can't seem to fight the demons off of the show as well. You know, in terms of the DUI and everything. They even try to reach, for the the great Little Wayne, who's tried to save the show too as well. But none of that has seemed to work. Okay, and I'm gonna explain that in just a minute. Um, since December and January. Now in December, the ratings they capped out for First Take, the rival First Take. They averaged 554,000 viewers. Okay, uh, Undisputed was significantly less at 120,000 viewers. Okay, that's horrible. And in January, I think the ratings even shot up even higher and went even lower on both ends. It went higher for First Take. They were at 661,000. Okay, and for the Undisputed show, they were at 102,000. I think they dropped even less. Okay. Um, Paul Pierce is going to be joining the show. I think this is great for him to join the show. The reason is because Paul Pierce is he's played in the league. Okay, he is a champion. He's a Finals MVP. All that other stuff. We know his resume in basketball. One of the greats to do it. Hall of Fame career as well, and also he knows a thing or two about the game of basketball. But more importantly, let me take it a step further. Paul Pierce is, I would put him in the contrarian category. Okay, he goes against the grain. All right, he goes against the grain, and he is going to tell it like a Ti is, and he doesn't care what you think about it. And that's one of the things that I think ESPN uh, kind of kind of hated him for. Okay, we know that he doesn't really get on the LeBron train like that. Not to bring him up or anything. And Paul Pierce also is. Uh, Listen, I want to say this too about Paul Pierce. Everybody thought that Paul Pierce was going to be one of those guys that just get up there and be an analyst that doesn't know what he's talking about. Um, you know, doesn't really have that much knowledge. Doesn't really articulate his words and everything. That could have been further from the truth because when he went on there, that's why they loved having him on there. Uh, but we all know the situation that took place. He was having his party. A couple of strippers there, him smoking and drinking and all that other stuff, which I really didn't see as a big deal, but they tried to make it seem like he was doing something immoral and went against the company and all this other stuff when you have other guys that are doing far, far much worse than having a party on live or whatnot. But we really know what the reasoning behind that is, okay? But Paul Pierce is set to join Undisputed. I like this. I think that this is a great move because what's going on with the show right now, okay, is it's starting to be, and I know I sound like a broken record like this. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite when I say this, but the show is starting to be one dimensional, focusing just on the same old topic all the time. If they're not talking about the Cowboys, they're talking about the Lakers like they've done in the past and everything, and they're talking more more and more about football because you have football guys on there. You have to think about it. All three of those guys were football guys. I mean, they know a little bit of knowledge about the game of basketball, but not so in depth because they're going based off of some of the things that they might have seen in the headlines and some of the obvious numbers instead of actually going in depth and going behind the science of the game of basketball. And now you have a guy in Paul Pierce who's not going to agree with everything that Skip says, and vice versa. And I think that it's good for the show. Uh, Listen, another thing is right. A lot of people feel this too. All right, and we could go ahead and we could just call it what it is. All right. Keyshawn Johnson, as much as I like Keyshawn Johnson, he is actually killing the show. Okay, a lot of people want to say that Michael Irvin is killing the show, but I disagree with that. I think that Keyshawn is killing the show, and he's a big problem with the show. Okay, and let me tell you why. Listen, when a person gives their opening statement to say what they need to say on the panel, okay, you'll notice that every guy says what they need to say, okay, without interrupting, without butting in, and without cutting in. Now, Richard Sherman does it sometimes too, but it's mainly Keyshawn. Well, here you have a situation where a person will talk, a person will finish saying what they need to say or whatnot, all right, or Keyshawn will get done saying what he needs to say, and then next thing you know, guess who butts in when that other person gives their statement? And I'm not talking about where everybody has already given their opening statement. I'm talking about when they're first giving their statement. You haven't even given that person a chance to talk without even uh, going head first into the debate first. You have to wait until that person get rid of Little Wayne. Well, not getting rid of Little Wayne. I mean, that's not going to be the end all, be all to your problems. Okay. Um, this is the thing, though. When you have a situation like that, it really destroys the show. And even I got to give Skip a little bit of credit on this. Okay, he'll let Keyshawn sit there when they've been in a one-on-one situation. He'll let Keyshawn say what he needs to say, and then Skip will start talking, and then guess who butts in? Keyshawn. And I usually don't get on Skip Bayless's side, all right? But in this situation, I think Skip is he sees what's going on. Also, you like I said, you do need some versatility on the show. Everybody doesn't want to always talk about, football all the time. There needs to be a little bit of a mixture of everything. For instance, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that I'm the best channel in the world and all of that other stuff. But listen, man, you talking about the same old thing all the time. It gets old, it gets stale, it gets dry, and the channel. I'm sorry about that. The show, it needs a shakeup. Okay, and them bringing in a guy like Paul Pierce, who is a part of the podcast with KG, and they're doing great things over there. This guy is really doing some big things. So to have a big name like Paul Pierce over there, not only to uh, have a great knowledge of the game of basketball, but also get into a debate format, because you have a guy like JJ Reddick who's over there. You said, yeah, them niggas be talking about football all the time. All they got to do is talk about LeBron. Well, they do that all the time, anyways. They do that all the time, anyways. I mean, that's what we want to. We want to talk less of just one person all the time. That's the problem. You want to continue talking about LeBron all the time, and that's not what. Listen, you got to be able to mix it up. And to first take credit, I got to be honest with you. Yeah, they still have a little bit of trouble with just talking about one person all the time, but at least first take, they try to mix it up to some degree. Okay, I think that Paul Pierce is a good shakeup for the show. I think that this is going to be better. We'll have to see how it works. But like I said, it's been problematic. And then also, I'll go ahead and I'll touch on this real quick. I'm not going to get into this too much. I'll probably do a video on this a little bit later. But in terms of Richard Sherman, in terms of what he's battling outside of media and stuff, he needs to get himself together first before even stepping back on the show. Okay, or if they will allow him back on the show. Okay, I thought that he had turned things around and everything, but it doesn't seem like that has taken place for him. Whatever he's got going on, dealing with the DUI and other stuff, outside of uh, media issues or whatnot, he needs to get that handled before he can go ahead and try to step up on TV. Because sometimes, honestly, I know one time he looked like he wanted to really fight Skip. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? When they had like a big blow up and stuff like that. But I think TV does need that. When you look at guys shouting at each other, going in on each other, having a real hardcore debate, believe it or not, people want to see that. And they also want to see, a guy like JJ Redick challenging the guys. You got to have that guy on there who everybody's going to root against. At one time, it was Skip Bayless, who everybody was rooting against when he was over there at first take. And then also, it seemed to be the same sometimes, especially when it would come with the whole LeBron situation. Everybody would root against Shannon. And then, of course, when it came to the football situation, of course, Shannon was going to cook Skip every single time, because not only did he play the game, but a lot of the stuff that Skip would come with would be so easy to debunk. We have to call it what it is. Gotta be black versus yeah, I mean, look, man, I don't necessarily, I try to, I mean, it's obvious, you know what I'm saying, and people are gonna look at it like that. But uh Skip, man, just to you know to Skip's credit, man, his background. Okay, his background. You said Skip needs to retire. Well, Skip isn't going to retire. Believe it or not, man, you do need somebody to challenge Skip and to go at him. And I bet you, once Skip retires, there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna say, "Yeah, thank God he's out of here" and all this other stuff. But then there's gonna be some people that, dang, we don't have nobody to go at no more. We don't have nobody, and that's what they need. You say it right now. Oh yeah, we wish he would retire. It's just like when they say, "Yeah, we're ready for LeBron to retire," but guess what? A lot of these channels aren't gonna have nobody to talk about no more. A lot of these people aren't gonna have nobody to talk about no more. Okay, so I look at it as the same aspect. They want to sit up here and they want Skip to retire. They want all these guys to retire and everything. But guess what? You know, you got somebody to talk about. Yeah, how much you hate. I call it, the guy that you love to hate, or in LeBron's case, the nigga that you love to hate. Skip gave up family for his job, shaking my damn head. What do you mean? The only thing he got is a wife and a dog. What you mean? You got Ernestine, you know what I'm saying? She not tripping about it. And they have a dog. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's just him, and he's a workaholic. You know what I'm saying? She respects that or whatever. And then he's trying to do everything he can to save the ratings. Like I said, man, they're dominating. They're blowing them out of the dust. If you go pull it up, they're blowing. When I speak of they, I'm talking about First Take. They're blowing Undisputed out. They're blowing them clear, clear out of the dust, man. Right now, I mean, they they're not even within contention of being competitive. Yeah, man. But like I said, man, Skip is just Skip. And see, I think he's never gonna admit it. You know what I'm saying? He's never gonna admit it. But I think a part of him said, "Man, I shouldn't have said what I said to Shannon." But he's a bullheaded individual. He's a stubborn individual, and he's never gonna admit it. Now, what all you did was make Shannon's payday, and now Shannon has even went higher as a household name. Not to say that he wasn't already, but he's a household name amongst people outside of the football world now. You said Skip need to stop though, man. He ain't got nothing to talk about without LeBron. Yeah, that's true. I think, but you know what? I think Skip can talk about other things. I just don't think that the podcast genre. Nah, he think he owns Shannon. Yeah, he did. He definitely did. He had that, you know, master master mentality, feeling like he had control over Shannon and stuff like that. But Shannon just had to, spank him in another way. Pause. He had to beat his ass in another way. You know what I'm saying? And how he did that was by going ahead. Not only did he level up going to First Take or whatever, he had already had Club Shay Shay, and he owns the rights to Club Shay Shay. And then also he has the Nightcap with Ocho Cinco. You know, I would uh, I would hate to be a I would hate that to be a regular nigga. I think he treated Shannon like it's like, yeah, he did, man. I mean, but Shannon, what Shannon did was smart, because not only that, he ended up being blessed. He stayed committed. He was always there. He was always ready to go. He kept his cool. Okay, sometimes he did lose it. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't let it get beyond hand, and it worked out great for him, because had he did something crazy like some of the average citizens who who come from the places that a lot of us come from, Skip probably wouldn't even be standing up right now. Yeah, he did, man. But not only would he have been in jail, okay, not only would he have been in jail, he probably would have never been able to do what he's doing right now, or be in the position that he's in right now. Because as he said before, he's making way more right now than he ever did when he was playing football, and not having to worry about uh, getting out of the bed with aches and pains, getting injured, or even with the whole CTE risk and everything. He's doing a job where he actually loves, and that's actually talking to the people and sitting down talking to the people. What you got to understand too, I meant to talk about this yesterday too. A lot of people don't understand it. You said a nigga don't even do it for. Yeah, exactly. You said a nigga's already rich. Yeah, but he's not. He wasn't rich. He wasn't rich like he is now. Okay, like that Cat Williams interview, and I wouldn't even say the Cat Williams even Club Shay Shay was already a good show. People got to understand that show was already good. You know what I'm saying? But Cat Williams really superseded everything. I mean, what 61 million? I mean, look at it from that perspective. It went through the roof. Now everybody want to talk about him, or they want to get a piece of Shannon Sharp in some type of way. You put Shannon Sharp uh, in your title, go guess what? You're bound to get some sort of views or something like that. So we got to look at it like that. You know, he's even more of a household name than he already was. And see, Shannon is smart because he's making his show relatable to some people that actually do that type of format that he does, such as sitting on the couch, having a little drink. You know what I'm saying? Kicking back. He's becoming relatable to the people, and that's what you have to love. And also, he's a hard worker. I say everybody. Listen, this is what I say, and I'm gonna actually talk about this in another video. Right? You have people that want to latch on to you because um because of the popularity that you have. You know what I'm saying? Like once you start growing, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of people, but then also the haters are gonna come too. Okay, you know, there's gonna be haters in there that trying to destroy you, what you're doing and everything. Sometimes you're gonna wonder, okay, well, what are you doing here? You weren't around me this much in the beginning, or you weren't with me when I was going through my struggles, and it happens like that, and that's what Shannon is starting to get right now. You got to think about it. Shannon was criticized heavily for the way that he talked. Okay, they said that there were some people like Tony Gonzalez saying that maybe media is not for him. Okay, because maybe he didn't articulate his words or pronunciate his words like everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? But it all worked out in his favor because when he left CBS, he was able to take on a debate format on the ESPN network, and then from ESPN he went to Undisputed, and the rest is history. And I also want to say this too as well, all right? Before I go ahead and cut up out of here, Fox Network is becoming a place where they have the expendables. Okay, you got to think about it. All of those guys, they came pretty much from ESPN that we were talking about as it pertains to Undisputed. Keyshawn Johnson came from ESPN. Okay, now you got a guy like Paul Pierce. He came from ESPN. Of course, Skip Bayless. He came from ESPN. Richard Sherman. He came from ESPN. It's a lot of people. That it's becoming like a Michael Irvin. He came from ESPN. Because they were all. They all had their issues with ESPN. They were let go for whatever reason, and now Fox and FS1 is becoming that place for the expendables. So I just think that whole dynamic is funny though. But anyways, man, I'm not gonna stay on this too long. Uh, I thank y'all for pulling up. Uh, Let me know what y'all think. Do you think that this is gonna work out for Paul Pierce being on Undisputed, or do you think that this is just a even slower decline to the end of both Undisputed and as well as Skip Bayless's career? Thank y'all for pulling up. Like I said, make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you are notified straight to the point, sports and entertainment. I'll get at you later.